Welcome back to another episode of A Record of My Father, episode 146. Here, we're going to talk about the meaning of America, since we're both Americans, you know? I think we are. We are American, right? I think so. And I don't know. I think that you came up with this idea. And what I
Mm.
first think about is the American dream and the white picket fence, the dog, the one and a half or two and a half kids, you know,
Owning your
in the
home,
house. Yeah, owning a
you
home. Yeah.
owning a home, I think to me is always been at the core of the American dream. That it doesn't really matter of all the other stuff. It's sort of like that's the typical American family. Uh, it's cool that it excludes anybody of any race or any different sexual orientation. That's the American dream. and but I mean, other than that,
Well,
it's
that was funny. That reminds me of when we were at that one great American restaurant with somebody who I will not name, and
yeah.
she said, "Man, it was so much better when I was a kid." And you said, "Oh yeah, when segregation existed." And she said, "I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that." And I still think about that moment to this day because
Yeah.
I don't know. We often think about in the past, and we think of ourselves before anybody else. We're like,
Well,
oh, things were
we
so much
miss,
better back then because they were better for us and not better for other people.
right,
And
right.
maybe, I don't know, what is it to be American other than to be selfish? You know, I think that might be a
Mhm.
part of it. What Hunter S. Thompson said were a bunch of used car salesmen ready to kill anybody who makes us feel uncomfortable. And I think that that might be a part of it.
There's a portion of that. I'm absolutely sure when you listen or you think about the way the population is today, but I don't think it's any different than it was before. I think the reason that we come out as being meaner in my eyes today than say 20, 30 years ago is that now uh I mean, when I was in the 60s and 70s, when somebody did something wrong, six people knew about it. They heard about it and it impacted their lives, and it might have been positive or negative or whatever. Now, when somebody does something horrible, the whole world knows, and it impacts you. And the unfortunate thing is that horrible things travel faster than good things. So it seems to me that everybody's going to be somewhat affected by more horrible things because that's what news is. It isn't about what happened; it's about what's happened that's horrible that we can point to and say, "Hey, look at this." You know, how will this change your life? Because you will click on it because you want to know that somebody else in the world is worse off than you. You know, I think that's like a big part of it is that whole idea of, well, at least we're not. I mean, at least I'm not. At least I'm not living in Iran right now. I mean, hey, it could be worse, right? You know, at least I'm not in Somalia. At least I'm not.
For the
And
time being, we can still critique the government, or so it seems.
yeah,
Maybe because we have a slightly less
well,
larger
they're
following than
stand.
most, but I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
both of
kind
us.
of interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
as
Well,
we get
the
old, I mean, I think the capitalism has always been the illusion of choices. I don't
yeah,
know. But
yeah,
I don't know. You when you were in college, you could
yeah.
pay for tuition if you
Right.
worked a summer. Is that what you used to say?
Right. I paid for, I went to Old Dominion College, Old Dominion University, and it was like 1,700 bucks a year or 19. It was state supported, not state funded or something. It was like a partial. They had a little bit of money that came from the state. And I could work a summer job as long as I did overtime like every week. I could make, I think I had to average about 50 hours to be able to pay for all tuition, room, and board. And I lived in a place that cost 100 bucks a month. And my utilities were usually utilities, and that's when cable was just starting. Did we even have phones? I don't even remember if we had a phone or not. But it was pre-cell. There's no cell phone. Uh, did we have a phone in the house? That's funny. I don't remember having one at all. That's kind of weird. That we didn't have a phone. We didn't need to talk to anybody. If I needed to talk to somebody, I go to school and call on the payphone, you know? And back then, it was long distance. And so why would I call you? We would write letters. or there wasn't email and things like that. But you could do that. You could pay for school by working a summer. Right now, you would have to make for just to go to Old Dominion and to live indoors. You probably have to make 15 or 20 grand over a summer, which I don't think is realistic.
If not
Even in
more than that, realistically,
yeah,
for the
yeah,
entire year.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, per semester, it's like 15, isn't it? 15, 20.
No,
I mean, in
no,
state, though. Oh, no, it's in state because
yeah,
Virginia has really good in state discounts. I
yeah. Well,
forgot about
we're
that.
trying to
Yeah.
compare apples to apples.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, it would be Old Dominion University tuition, huh? And that's a good bearing. Well, and but also like when you look, it's 11.7.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Okay.
oh, okay. In state is about 11,700, and out of state is 32.
Maybe that's why. Okay. I was comparing it to out of state prices. That's
Okay.
what I was thinking.
How total estimated annual costs, including housing and books, ranging from roughly 31.6.
Wait,
That's
so
what they
31.6 for in state or out of
yeah.
state? There
In
we go.
state.
Oh,
That
so
would
I wasn't crazy.
so
Okay.
they're saying 20,000 on addition to see it's 11,790, and they're saying 11,680 is that would be they just add 20 grand onto it. They say your living expenses for a year of going to school there would be 20 grand.
Well, that's
It's kind of
why.
funny, but I can't imagine that it would cost that much because
Yeah.
you figure it's I mean, you're gonna have a roommate,
The,
$1,000 a
well,
month.
the reason why I quoted it so high is because your first year, your first 2 years usually are mandatory on campus, and they pump
Okay,
how expensive living on campus is. It's more
right,
expensive than just renting your own apartment. It's
right,
kind of
right.
crazy because then it's like, oh, you have to buy the meal pass, you have to buy this, you have to buy that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's of quote unquote convenience when in fact they're just kind of screwing you over. I mean, that's really
yeah,
what it is. It's more of a profiteering thing than an actual teaching thing to me, at least.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Well, this is not, I mean, average 32 grand. I
Okay, so it
can't
wasn't
imagine.
crazy. I feel better about myself now.
So let's say you get a crazy job and you work, I mean, May, June, July, August, right? You get 4 months. So that is 4 times 4, 16 weeks. Let's say you get, what do you make? $15 an hour,
If
20 bucks.
that in Virginia, what,
Let's
did
say,
Virginia
let's
raise
say,
it to 15.50 yet?
so let's say 15 an hour, 15 an hour, times 40.
Man, I remember when we were at 7.25 until recently. That was
It's
crazy.
600 a week times 16. That's 9,600 bucks.
There you go.
That's not even that's not even a third. Oh my god.
I will say they have a great community college system. But
Yeah.
even then, I mean, like when you're in community college, you're still paying for college. So it's like you got to take out loans. I mean, that's
So you
really
think
the
the
only way that you're going to be
you
able
think
to
this
do it.
goes do you think this goes to the American dream being out of reach for many people?
Well, I think also at the same time, master's degrees aren't even looked at as sealing the deal on a job anymore. And I
No.
think that that is crazy. That's a little
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, anybody that went to school, with the exception of my parents, had an opportunity at good jobs. But you had to have confidence in yourself and what you were doing and the stuff that you learned. You know, I mean, in a crazy world.
Sometimes, I mean, if you have a business undergrad now,
Yeah,
you might be able, with the correct networking, depending on what school you went to as well, get into wealth management. You could,
yeah.
but it's like it's very difficult. It's also GPA requirements are a 3.7. So for wealth
Wow.
management, yeah, to work at some of those top firms, yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's hard to get in, but that also is really a high consideration of what school you went to as well,
right.
because I don't think they're hiring out of Old Dominion. Like I don't think
No.
that they're hiring out of a lot of these other
Yeah,
schools. But yeah, I don't know. I think that undergraduate degree is not considered very valuable anymore. And people are often wondering like why wouldn't I just go get a trade? And I would say, I mean, HVAC is going to be around forever.
what did you learn?
Elevators
What did you learn in
elevators are
your
going to be around forever. What did
What
I
did you
learn?
learn? Yeah.
To think pragmatically, to think in according to many different people's ideas that wrote throughout time.
Hmm.
To be amiable, to read people is really what I
To
learned with
interact.
the
I mean,
English
that's
degree.
interact with
Yeah.
people that disagree with you.
That's 100% what it is. But I'm saying that a lot of people, unlike myself, are not as privileged and they're looking for an actual job. And so,
Practice living with other people.
yeah, that as well. But
You
I'm
know, I mean,
saying
those are the kind of
HVAC
things.
and elevator repair and electrician. Electricity is going to be around forever, you know? And it's like,
It's
I think that those trades are, I mean, they're
you
going
don't
to
you
actually
don't think
give
it
you a job.
you don't
What?
think at some point they'll just have in their modular housing it will be fully. I mean, the wires will already be in.
I mean, it's going to be a long, long time before that happens, you know?
Power eventually will not run over a wire.
It's still going to
Power
be
will run through
power
the
though.
air. Right.
Electrician, the job will change, but I mean, it still will
Oh yeah,
be a
yeah.
job, you
Good
know?
good
It's
point.
like, well,
I
if the elevator is a hover elevator, it's still an elevator, you know? Like
Yeah,
it's still, you're still going to have to fix it at some point.
good
And
point.
it's
Good
like, yeah,
point.
everything breaks, you know?
Hmm.
And until then, I mean, those are some pretty solid jobs. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
I can't imagine that. I think the if a job is all you're looking for, that's one thing. And I
I
think
think most people are though. I mean,
yeah,
with $200,000 in loans,
that's all I wanted was a job.
yeah,
I
exactly.
wanted an opportunity. I wanted to be in a business field. I didn't want to work for Giant. I didn't want to work for Safeway. I didn't want to work for, Ralph's, none of the supermarkets. I didn't want to be that guy working as a checker. And the checkers made good money and they were union, but those checkers today are no longer exist, you know.
Well, that's what I
And
wanted to do. I wanted to work at a clothing store. That's why
mhm.
I got an English degree. No, no.
I think
But
it's a great idea.
no, the whole reason I got an English degree was one, I didn't want to do advanced calculus. That was
Hmm.
going to be a requirement, and I was having a difficulty with that.
Really?
And I also like to read, and you told me, I think very early on, you said, "Why don't you just do what you want to do?" And I
Yeah.
said, I do have the privilege to do that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I did, you know, and I think it really did pay off because I enjoy reading and it really added a lot to my life. I feel that there is a internal difference from now as opposed to 7 years ago in my life. I feel much
Yeah.
more well off intellectually. Yeah, I don't know.
Smarter.
Hmm.
Things can push you, but you can you can think your way through them.
There's a level of self-actualization that comes with education too, that you
Yeah, I think
realize where you are in the world and how other people have accomplished these great things. And then you put yourself, if you want to accomplish these great things, in line with those people. And I think that that's a valuable thing.
or you just degrade them.
Or that, yeah. Or you just say, well, he actually was a liar and a cheat. I'm smarter and I can't be a liar and a cheat. That's why I can't be successful. I mean, that's,
Right.
yeah, a lot of people do that too.
Or the only reason they got to the top is because they killed people along the way.
Yep.
But we used to, I mean, I would tell you that most of the big companies I worked at, that a lot of them did work that way. You were looking for the next position above you, and the way you would get it is you wouldn't necessarily have to sabotage the person that had it, but that was one way. The
Whose
other is
neck can I step on is a very common thought process today.
right.
I would say so. I would say that
I don't
moral
get that.
integrity is really, really falling apart. I would
Hmm.
say that it's in lieu of the last 10, 15 years of this country, you know? I
You
think
think
that
there's integrity is less today than it was 15 years ago or 20 years ago?
100% without a doubt. Yeah.
Really?
We're
Why?
too distracted. We're way, way, way too distracted. We don't have something that was in Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle called the contemplative thought process. You know, when you go to a mall, right, and there's music everywhere, and it's meant to be distracting because then you can't think and then you just buy. And therefore, when there's no music and you have silence in your life, you have something called the contemplative thought, which allows you to contemplate your life and where you are and who you are. But without that, we are just constantly distracted by what's in our pocket, which is our phone, is it not? Right? So, I mean, Aristotle said this a long, long time ago. And I mean, when was the last time realistically that in the general thoroughfare public that we had silence in which we could look at the world? Now it's all noise. There's so much noise that is accumulated, you know?
Every day I walk the dogs
There you
in the
go.
woods, nothing there. In the backyard when I walk the backyard. And here's the funny thing. I never take out my phone. If I go to any office, doctor's office, any place else where I'm sitting and doing nothing, I don't look around like you used to say hi to people, what you in for, and
There you
all that
go.
kind of stuff like that. And you don't do that anymore in group settings. I'm more friendly, but I have to be careful because I'm older. So, as the wife says, it's good to be friendly, but it's not good to be creepy. So, so don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. So hey, there is that. And then but I think that, that's really shut people off a lot, you know. I
Pandemic
mean,
too.
what is I mean, the meaning of life to me is to when I think about it, and I mean, it's changed. It's really changed. All I wanted when I was a kid and was to go to college. When I was working construction, all I did was want to make enough money to be able to live on my own and without a roommate or anybody, just mine. I wanted mine. When I went to college and I was there and I shared rooms and I didn't really have a problem with anybody. I mean, I'm an easy roommate. I don't give a shit. As long as you're reasonably clean or you want to be clean, I'm okay with that. Cleaner than what I grew up with. I couldn't be in more filthier, 5 pack a day smoker and that kind of just nasty.
I couldn't
Anyway,
live. That's difficult. Yeah.
I couldn't deal with that. But then, when I got out of school, all I wanted to do was pay my rent and get hammered and hook up. I mean, there was really nothing. That was it. There was no. So my dreams and my aspirations kind of changed as they went along. And then when I started the first business, it was basically, if I think back to that time, it was I need a job, and this looked like the easiest job that would make the most money that I could possibly imagine. And the thing is that have been, and have always been incredibly hard worker. And once I learn how to do something and I can replicate it, I can do it twice as fast, 3 times as fast, 5 times as fast. And that's why I could do research really, really well because I'd done it 3,000 times, It's that kind of stuff. And then you would commit it to memory and I have a really good you know, encyclopedia type bullshit, what was the last double dummy merger that you remember, and it's like, oh, well, Walt Disney, DC Holdco, uh, uh, those kind of things, weird stuff. Anyway, and then, and then I never really thought about getting married. Never even crossed my mind until I just tripped over your mother,
It happens
you
when you're
know,
not looking for it.
yeah. I mean, we tripped. There wasn't this, hey, I'm going to get married and have a house and live in the woods.
Those
I
never
was
work out.
living, I had a roommate and I was living with him and, you're, I was dating your mother at the time and she was worried that because my roommate at the time wanted to buy a house. So we should invest in a house. And she was like, well, if you buy a house with him, she didn't say this, but she was thinking it, then you've told me where I stand, which I would have been true. And that's why I wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
And that's why I was like, well, lease is coming up at the end of the month. What am I going to do? And then that's when we decided to move in together with the idea that something more permanent would happen. And I mean, I look to the future and it's like, I mean, I never really had set out to get married. I never set out, I think we thought kids would come along, but at some point we didn't. And then you came along
You stopped looking
and
for it.
then yeah, you stop looking for it and it just sort of shows up and it's just like every wonderful thing that I've ever had happen to me has been, it's been not through I don't want to say not through planning because the business entities and things that I did we did extensive planning, but the personal stuff was basically, oh shit, this is silver. No,
There's
it's
a
gold.
certain lesson behind massaging and relaxing the intuition and wanting for things in your life and specific milestones, I think.
Yeah,
And for accomplishments, because I don't think you're ever going to be able to accomplish certain things if you really, 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 really try overtly hard. Because there's something
yeah.
about the world that doesn't want you to do that. That it doesn't, it isn't an inherent lesson unless you forget about it for a little bit. I don't know what it is. It is
It's
because when you forget about it, then you're really doing it subconsciously, and I think
we
that
had
is important.
it's weird. It's like I think about our business and the growth in each and every one of them. And I had a person that I met, and he was telling me how much he admired me, and that I was the first guy ever to do in legal tech what no one else could do. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because you're the first one to get, you know, to break out of the $2 million bubble. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes like, there's no other legal tech companies that get past 2 million in revenue. And I was like, I never realized that. And he said, and you did it twice. It's like, oh, and I never looked to like, we didn't look, we would set goals for the next year, and we would do like, oh, we want to go 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, whatever numbers we would set. But we would set a pathway and a structure and all this kind of stuff. And it wasn't in the idea that we were going to do something that somebody else wasn't doing. It was, we wanted to grow. And it was all about, we just wanted to grow. And the faster we could grow, it was fun, and that was it. It was bigger. We're bigger. Bigger means more choice. That's what we thought. And until you get bought, and then you don't have any choice. Things
Back
change.
to
Everything's changed.
Americans in general, just to generalize this a little
Yeah.
bit, I think the government has a responsibility to keep a healthy population,
Yeah.
to keep a population that 75% of it shouldn't have to live paycheck to paycheck, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that this
Maybe
inherent fear of socialism is what really is keeping us back from people just allowing to be helped. Because even
yeah.
when you were growing up impoverished, you told me multiple times that you would never accept government assistance because that's
Right.
what
My
poor
my
people
mother
do.
said she would rather be she would rather, as she said, sell myself before I would take a handout.
Yeah, and I
And
think
I'm
that that's
like,
more people than you think. I think that's a lot more people than you think.
I was like,
You know?
thinking like, wow. And I mean, there were times when we went to the pantry and there was nothing there. I mean, and it was like the last day. So you would, make it or break it by going out and hunting for bottles, and that's how you ate. So, but that was few and far between for food. Now, you know, the heat was always low. There was no air conditioning. We didn't use the dryer because it cost $1. We had a dryer, but we didn't use it because, only rich people used a dryer. You think about those things, and I guess it was tight. You know, it was real tight. But like I've always said, and one of the things I said is like, we didn't know we were poor until we weren't. I mean,
Hmm.
that was mine. This is like, oh, wow, you mean everybody's meat's not slimy?
Until you realize where you came from, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Then
see
you
the rest
start
of
to
the world.
realize, and you do that, and stuff. But I mean, we all chased the American dream. We all did the education. We did the education route. Every
Hmm.
single one of us paid for our own education. We had help here and there. We lived at home during the summer. We did certain things like that, but it was we were driven. We were all driven, and we didn't have help from high school. I mean, the high school counselors did nothing for us, which is kind of sad. You would think that they would. Went to a high school for 4 years, and I never even talked to a counselor once. Once. How sad is that? And I'm
I
like, what the
talked to
hell? They get
counselors, but they tried to funnel people to a college because they were getting paid under the table to do so.
right, right. But at
And
least, they had a motivation to do that. I mean, mine
fair,
didn't even have a motivation to talk to us, and it was just like,
they were forced to though by well, there's only 70 people in my school, so it's kind of like,
should have been
what are
hard
you
to
really
hide.
paying for to go to private school if not an absolute guarantee to get into college?
Right.
That's kind of the whole point of a private high school is the absolute guarantee, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, I don't know. what a
They
weird
were
thing
filling
that
Vermont.
was. Well, that and then like the with all of the people that worked there, it was just like in hindsight, just so moronic. A lot
Yeah.
of moronic individuals teaching that did not deserve to have a pen in their hand because they were
Yeah.
so ignorant and also overzealous and
Hmm.
frankly very comparative to Neanderthals. And I
But
think that yeah,
you learned in spite of that,
learned
right?
about my own health, what it means to feel good when exercising. I think that that's probably the largest thing that I
That's
learned.
the biggest thing I would say.
That was definitely the largest thing. I think a no cut team is definitely funny. I think it's a funny thing. But
Hmm.
I think it might be an important thing in some aspects. In some
Hmm.
aspects, specifically for just running. I mean, being able
Hmm.
to have to move every day is a
Hmm.
lesson in itself. I mean, even
Hmm.
Thomas Jefferson said an hour of muscular workout a day and an hour of cardiovascular workout a day is what a man needs. And I think that's true. And I think that's
Thomas
true.
Jefferson said that.
He did.
I thought it was Ben Franklin.
It's on the thing in one of the gyms at UVA. Yeah,
Really?
see it
Oh
every
my
day.
God.
Yeah, I used to
Wow.
see it all the time. Man, it is
So
crazy
they
how
knew
many
what the,
people are on anabolics
yeah.
in general that are below the age of 19. I think that's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah,
Chasing the American dream,
I just
you
can't
think?
imagine pinning testosterone or adrenaline right now and being so torn out in about 3 years because I'm not getting regular blood tests and then I'm on TRT for the rest of my life. And
Wow.
then like because you can never make back naturally the testosterone because you
Really?
blew out your levels so hard. And it's like, man.
Wow.
And even like the professionals that are competing, like it's you don't biggest like most paid bodybuilder in the world is not like making that amount of money to destroy your own physical health and die at the age of 50. Like I don't know.
Well, I think there's a mindset that you look at something like that and it's gorgeous and it's gorgeous to you.
I
If
think
you
it's
look at it,
incredible. I do think it's an incredible feat. Don't
yeah,
get me wrong. Yeah,
right. And then you look at that and you're saying, I want to be that because then people will just look at me naturally and think that I'm great looking and all this stuff. When in reality,
it's only
you
men that
know,
look at you. It's only,
if you're
it's only
yeah,
men
if
that
you're
look
a
at you.
decent person, you can get there,
Yeah,
you know.
no, that's for sure.
See how wonderful you are or how wonderful you're not, from that perspective. Here I go, yoink.
I would really like to see the American people have access to affordable healthcare in the next 20 years. I
Mhm.
would really like to see that. And I think that that is a part of the dream when mommy and daddy don't have to worry about their wages being garnished by a large healthcare company
Yeah,
because when they were at the hospital, they didn't get an itemized receipt for a concussion that a band-aid that was put on their head that was $900.
right.
I don't want to, and I don't understand why we even have to ask for itemized receipts at hospitals because I find that frankly a little ridiculous that somebody went to school for 10 years to scam people. I don't know. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots. There's lots of that. The healthcare, I mean, I'm in healthcare education because I think a healthy population and an intelligent population and the thing when you see it now when you talk about the trades and how people are pushing the trades in a very big way as though it's some way to answer for people that wanted to learn. And I think I'm in opposition to making learning bad. I think I
I
think learning.
completely agree. I think we should make it affordable. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I
I'm
was
just
going to
saying it
just
doesn't make sense for the average American to take out $150,000 in
no
loans
community
and
college
get a
for
liberal arts degree. It
yeah,
just doesn't. It's not. It doesn't make sense for those that aren't of that privilege.
yeah,
It doesn't. It doesn't.
yeah. You could if you get a liberal arts though, you learn. I mean, as you said, you learn. You have a wide variety of things that you know. I
You
mean,
see the cogs in the world more so
right,
than you do if you were to become an electrician 100%. Couldn't agree
right,
more. No,
and
couldn't
your
agree more.
writing capability is just so much better. I mean, I did business, so for me, the thing I understood is like, what are the four basic building blocks of every single business? Marketing, sales, uh, product, and drug dealing. That's just it.
Drug dealing is always a good one. I think
Yeah.
that that should always be fitted in there, especially for a liberal arts degree, because when you get out, you're going to need a profession and you're going to want to go into business for yourself. And I think that that is really of importance. I digest. But yeah.
So the meaning of America is to be a drug dealer, but be educated.
Yes, yes,
That's what we
exactly.
need to do. Is we're trying to get to the point where it matters. And when we say the meaning of America, do you think one of the things I like about it is I was saying earlier is the double entendre was the idea that people are meaner today than they were. And I don't buy that. I feel like it's only because maybe we are a little meaner. Maybe we're a little
I think
meaner
so.
because we're exposed to, well, everybody else is doing it,
There's
you
no
know?
hardship like financial hardship. And I feel like financial hardship inherently makes people harder. I mean, look
Right.
at Russian people, right? I think that that
Yeah.
is interesting.
Hmm.
But you were talking about educated drug dealers before, and what is that? But the Sacklers. And I think
Yeah.
that that is
That's
that is
very
kind of
sad.
the definition of the American dream and instituted this whole heroin epidemic. And now
That's just so sad.
fentanyl epidemic. Isn't that kind of interesting?
And none are, well, I mean, the weird thing about the fentanyl is if you look it up,
It's
do you know where
Chinese,
the,
Chinese manufactured.
no,
It
yeah,
is. They
that
manufacture
theirs is.
xylazine as well, which is trank. Yeah.
But the number one manufacturer of fentanyl for the United States, you know who it is?
Ugh.
It's pharmaceutical companies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The
Without a
the
doubt.
illegal fentanyl is only a couple ton. Over, I think it's 86 tons of fentanyl is distributed by pharmaceutical companies every year. And you're just like,
86 tons.
tons,
My
tons.
gosh.
They use it all the time in hospitals. So, I mean, I keep feeling the idea that it's going to turn into another oxy thing, you
It
know?
already is. It already has. Except people
Yeah.
are actually dying this time. Yeah, the
Mhm.
issue too. I mean, if you go back, I really think about the whole Yale study in 2009 when they were doing in vitro for women. They
Mhm.
were taking their eggs out and they were freezing them, and women would say, "Wow, like I don't feel the pain medication. Can you give me more?" And the nurses would be hesitant and say, "No, we can't give you more. We can't do this." And they're like, they would give them more, and they're like, "Why isn't it working?" And it turned out that even at one of the most highest esteemed universities, Yale, that the nurses were backdooring the morphine for these women that were going through the in vitro. Isn't that
Oh
interesting?
my god.
Yeah. So I mean, it's even in your highest institutions, and people act like, oh, well, it's not, it can't, couldn't possibly be there. And I'm like, well, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. They
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
backdooring morphine, and all of the nurses were fired from that program.
Did any of them go to jail?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. I mean, if I held you down and I cut you and didn't give you any medicine,
It's far worse
I'd
than
go to
that.
jail.
It's a
I'd go to
needle
jail.
that pierces your cervix,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
Yeah.
what I've heard
I
is
hit
there
your
is
wee wee with a
no.
hammer.
It's worse than giving birth. Apparently, it's worse
Oh
than
my
that.
god. Oh my
It's
god.
like about
Oh.
five. It's like 4 or 5 times worse than giving birth, which is
Mhm.
like God, to some
Wow.
women that is, but like man, like that is at the one of the highest institutions in the
Yeah.
medical world, and
And if you think about that, yeah.
you still have
Yeah, well,
things that are terrible to go on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, crime pays, and you know, and the more that it pays, the less that you'll ever be held accountable.
Oh,
You know.
100%. It does seem like evil always wins now, doesn't it? It
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really
That's the thing that
does.
kind of bothers me the most about the American dream being smashed is the idea that it seems like evil's ahead of it right now, and just everywhere you turn, there's this is
There,
bad, that's bad. We're now gonna put fluorocarbons back in the water. We don't care anymore. You know, we're not gonna use red dye in our Cheerios, but we're gonna pollute the water.
there's a weight here that you
Yeah,
feel, I think, on a daily basis. I could feel myself getting meaner as well
yeah.
and caring less about other people. It's funny because
You
that's
get
why when I
tired of it.
say
Yeah.
I'm tired of yeah, I just feel it internally, and it's a weird feeling because I've never felt this way because I was raised different than that.
Yeah.
And even I still feel it though. You feel this way because when you travel, like of my
Mhm.
recent travels, you feel like this levity. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's the people are nicer. Like I remember when we went to London not that long ago,
Mhm.
and the people were not nearly as hard as they
Yeah.
are here. It was very interesting. It was very, very interesting because they're eating the jacket potato from Subway,
Yeah.
and if we had jacket potatoes here at Subway, I
Yeah.
think that we'd be a little bit better off, you know.
You think?
I think so.
If we had Ben's chili on Ben's chili bowl,
You remember when we went to the second location for that? That was
it was
foul.
nasty.
That
That was
was
so
really,
nasty.
really bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was incredibly disappointing.
Yep. Well, your
Oh,
mom bought some turkey chili the other day from Ben's from Giant. It's now carried in Giant.
Ben's
And
Chili Bowl chili is.
Ben's Chili Bowl chili and their hot dogs or their Polish sausages or whatever you call them. I like Polak Johnny's my favorite. Is my favorite
That's also my
sausage.
favorite as well.
But she bought the turkey chili and it's okay.
Well, tell me, answer me this question. What's the difference between a red hot and a Polish sausage?
Red hot is just the color of the hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
They're just it's the skin. It's just a regular type of skin. It's not hot. It's not spicy or
Oh, I
hot or
thought it
anything.
was. It had to be spicy.
No, no.
Oh,
Here,
interesting. Because I have these red hots that are really hot.
really.
Yeah, and they're
What's the
from
difference?
Louisiana Red Hots is what they're called at Costco, and that's what I've been eating recently.
What, really?
Yeah, and I'm enjoying them. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like you can only eat them every so often because they light you up. They light you up on the inside. They do.
Ah,
I've been doing the Chicago dog thing where you take a Grillo's pickle dough, you put it in the bun, and then you
okay.
put the red
Spicy,
hot.
bright red, finely ground pork or beef sausage, pickled. While Polish sausage kielbasa is a traditionally smoked, coarse ground pork and beef sausage seasoned heavily with garlic.
Coarse
Red
and
hearts are
garlic.
generally smaller snacks, whereas Polish sausages are giant, large things that make you go, "Hey, I
I
wouldn't
would,
have thought."
I will. You know, what, I'll mail you a Louisiana Red Hot. Hopefully, I'll get
Please
some
do put
dry.
it
I'll
in an
get some
envelope.
dry ice.
Don't do
Yeah.
it. Don't get dry. Just put it in an
No dry
envelope.
ice. You want me to send it over?
Yeah, I was. This is an interesting thing because I talking to you about this that I thought it would be really cool if we were to start mailing stuff like a sandwich through the mail
I think that'd be
and
kind of
just
cool.
yeah and just put it into a brown paper bag and send it and see what happens.
I remember the
And then
trend months ago where people were what is it? It's like when you dehydrate. When you
yeah
dehydrate something, somebody dehydrated an In-N-Out burger and then brought it to their friend on the East Coast, and then they
yeah
rehydrated it, and it tasted like In-N-Out, but it was not great. It was
yeah.
it was not great.
I was thinking about pork and beans. Just dumping it, not the can, just the beans, into a bag and sending them to you. And just like a Manila envelope, the brown ones, the big brown ones, those.
How do you feel about English breakfast? What do you think?
Uh, I think
Very
that
wet.
yeah, wet, greasy, nasty. Uh, Probably a little bit better than the breakfasts that my father used to cook for me when I was a kid, but
That's
not by
really
much.
it's a low review, and I know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
depictions of those.
They're just yeah. We had the grease tub on the stove with two or three roaches dead in it, and pour the grease in, but don't let the roaches that are in the grease go into the pan. Heat it up, pop the two pieces of eggs on there, chain smoking, flip them, and then they're still wet, and then throw them on your thing, and throw the bacon in at the same time. Bacon, it's hot. It's like you ever seen like the white until it just as it starts to change color from white
Yeah,
to
I know what you're
less
talking about.
greasy. Pick that up and throw it on your plate with the grease, no straining, nothing
Ugh.
on, and then that's your breakfast.
Well,
And we
that's an
would feed it.
explanation for why you like extra crispy bacon, right there. That's an explanation as why in
Used
your
to
adult life
gross
you
me
liked
out,
extra
man.
crispy. Like that's why
It's,
you like it almost burnt. I
yeah,
never realized that.
The sunny side eggs were
I can't do those anymore.
usually crispy on one side.
Okay, that's
He
not.
could never flip them. He couldn't flip them because his hand was shaking so much in the morning, So there was,
Jesus.
there's
It's funny, but it's not. It's funny,
yeah.
but it's not.
The
And
end of your we were chasing the American dream, okay?
I mean, that man was working on a doctorate at Harvard, so it's
Yeah,
like,
that's weird. That is
like
so
I
weird.
I told my girlfriend that the other day, and she's like, "What? Like he was educated?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
really was educated. Like really,
Well, that
really."
was the strangest thing is that I until, when we talk about education and it's like where we were and they were very, you know, big about pointing out how uneducated everybody on the block was. And then if you were to when I got older, I was like, well, why'd you live there? If you're so damn smart, what were you doing living there among the pores? You know,
Exactly.
hey, guess not.
Well, I would often say the
Yeah,
least intelligent are ones that classify others as stupid, you know? And I think
right.
that because if you're
Agreed.
thinking
Agreed.
about other people that much and you're comparing yourself to other people that
Yeah,
much, then there's something they have that you don't, you know?
yeah,
And it's I don't know, that's a very important lesson, I think.
yeah. I was at a dinner last night, and it was the last time for Manny Moon's Pizza Round. Went there, and it's in Stafford. I think it's going out of business. But I was there with a bunch of friends, and I said one of the things that my mother didn't like was Yankees and Catholics. And a good friend Jane is there, and she's a Yankee and a Catholic. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of like she just hated. There's only two things she hated in this world: Yankees and Catholics. And it's like, and you know what? She was married to a Yankee who was a Catholic.
That's really funny. Was
It
he
was the
Catholic? I did not
strange.
know that.
Well, he came from a Catholic family, whatever the hell that means, you know. And my brother married. Yeah, I mean, my wife is Catholic, you know, where she was started out with Catholicism, but not really anymore. We haven't been, we don't, non churchgoers. We're horrible. We're those people. And we yawn late at night too. We're doing this at 2 a.m. because that's how important our audience is. And we lie. So,
Yeah, we're doing a 24-hour podcast right now. It's
oh,
actually going to
wow.
be a
That's kind of neat.
60-hour
I
long
like that.
podcast. We might go for multiple days here.
You
You
think we
know,
could?
maybe. I think
Well, if we're
so.
talking about the American dream, there's a lot of things. I mean, you know, I got to the point earlier where I was saying about getting married, and then we wanted to get a house, and that was like the natural thing. And then, but it wasn't that I never, when I was 22, I didn't even think about being married or having a house. Now here I am, 29, 30, and just getting married, and it's like I want to own a house. Don't know why.
You know what
Just
I keep
sort of
thinking about is this 7'2" Jar Jar Binks statue I keep seeing on Facebook Marketplace, and it's
really.
like, uh,
How much does it cost? We should buy it.
it's like $1,500, and it's like,
Uh,
man, it's expensive, but it's 7'2". Do you know
yeah.
Guado? Do you know who Guado is from Star Wars?
No, no.
He's you remember the first one when it's like baby or not baby, but he's child and he's a pod racer. The Jedi,
Yeah,
he's a child
yeah,
and he's pod racing, right? And the guy, the blue like bug man, and he's like, "Yeah, start your engines, pod racers or whatever." And
yeah,
you remember the blue dude? That's
yeah.
who Guado is. That's
Oh,
who Guado is, the fat blue bug guy. And they're selling a Guado for like 500, who's like 4 foot tall or something. And it's like,
what are they made out of?
I think they're all like cast in something. I can't remember. Of course they're
Plaster.
cast. It's not plastic. It's something that's not breakable. I think it's like a heavy
I wonder if you could put them
plastic.
in a garden,
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if
a
they're like
statue in the
outdoor.
backyard.
Well, you know what I would do is I take those and I make a mold. I'd make a mold out of them, cast them in iron. That would be crazy.
Ooh.
Then you could resell them, double or triple your money. Then you can make as
Yeah,
many
there's
as
a lot
possible.
of people that would spend tens of thousands of dollars on a 7 foot Jar Jar Binks. I'm
You never
sure
know.
there's
You know
just
your
it's a
market.
huge audience.
Know your market.
Well, it
Find the
is funny
niche
when you
market.
when you got to find the right people. I mean, that's almost like you'd want to have a custom job where they come in and say, I mean, I knew Doggy's brother, really, really good with uh, metal. And he had a person come to him and wanted to do a lightsaber,
Oh,
duplicate silver, all out of aluminum,
hmm,
a solid aluminum ingot, and with all the little controls and all that kind of stuff like that. And he made it. You know, it's like $500,
I'd
but
love to see what it looked like.
yeah, he said it didn't light. And I said, well, then what's the point? He goes,
That is kind
well,
of the
he
whole
was
point.
gonna he made a place for something to be inserted to
Uh,
make it do that. And I was like, oh my god, this is really kind of cool. You know, just a
well, he
neat
was a
idea.
machinist, right?
Yeah, he was a machinist. Really, really.
I
Yeah.
that's a lost art that I hope that continues on. and
Yeah.
as machinists. I think that we're really
Well,
good.
you hope the custom parts and custom things, and I mean the other brother was a woodworker, carver, made just incredible pieces, and it's like some people have a skill and they have the opportunity to work at it and develop it and make many wonderful things.
Are they
I
still
guess
alive?
that could be no, that could be part
Both are
of
dead.
no, one of them is.
Okay. Is the
Yeah.
one that I
Well,
met that one time still alive?
yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah. The
Because I didn't
the
meet the other one ever. I only met one time.
No, you wouldn't have met him. He was probably you. I mean, he only saw him a few times. That and I met him I think
I remember what he
twice.
looked like too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
He's a doggy's
interesting.
wedding.
I was not there.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you
I
were
missed that
born
one.
then, were you?
No, no, I missed that one.
If you were
But I was
born,
there
you
when
were
his dad
tiny.
died. Remember that?
Yeah, I
I
remember
went into
that. You
the
looking out the
blue
window.
bathroom and they had a blue toilet in there or something
Hmm. Green.
and green oh, it was green toilet and it
Yeah,
was
the toilet was green. The sink was blue. The It
there we
was
go.
different stuff.
And it's funny when you
Yeah.
remember because when you're a kid, it seems like everything's kind of blue. I don't know why. There's like a blue hue because it was very early in the morning. I remember,
Yeah.
and you took me over
Yeah.
there on like a Saturday. It must have been because I wasn't going to school,
Hmm. Yeah.
and then they wheeled the dead dad out, and the blanket blew off of him, and then I got to see my first dead guy. That was cool.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mm.
Yeah, what a good time.
So yeah, you were looking out the window. I was looking out the
Yeah,
window,
I was
so
looking out the
I
window.
didn't
Yeah.
see the I didn't see the dead guy. I went in and
No.
saw him in the back bedroom.
Oh.
But I've seen a lot of dead people. I've held dead people, and
Yeah.
it's not part of the American dream.
No,
I'll
that is
say that.
definitely, I
You
wouldn't
know.
say a part of the American dream. Well, something that we often talk about, I mean, I don't think seeing your parents degrade
Yeah.
mentally is a thing that makes you stronger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Counter to what a lot of people believe, I guess, is
Yeah.
um,
I
I
would
think
I
the
would say so.
whole hospice industry in the US is frankly disgusting.
Yeah.
And I think that we would be a lot better off if we had legal euthanasia.
Yeah.
We would be a
I
lot
would
better
agree
off.
with you. As far as me chasing the American dream, that would be a great way to end. But I know a lot of people that couldn't do it because of their faith or for other reasons, you know,
Hmm.
and maybe that's
But
always what's
faith
going to
is
keep
like
it.
they always question those guys, and they're like, "What do you believe in gay marriage?" And then they say no, and then it's like, "Well, you shall beat your slave if he doesn't yield to you. Do you own any slaves?" And then of course the guy says no, and then it's like, "Why do you choose to be cruel then to specific
Mhm.
people when you don't choose to be cruel to other
Because you
people?"
can.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how people's cruelty resides in a faith-based acumen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that is very, very
And see, they would
interesting.
argue that stopping abortion is not being cruel. It's saving a, proposed life. That's the argument. And then the other side is like they're always saying it's not this, it's not that, but it's like it doesn't really matter. I don't care what it is. It's her body and it's her life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are three guarantees we have in the Constitution, and she has those rights. And
And it's none of my
that
business. It's a
that
man
thing
to
in
police
her,
those.
that
Yeah,
that thing in her, whatever you want to call it, is not a legal entity. So stop.
exactly.
If you want to make it a legal entity, make it a legal entity and shut up and insure it and charge anybody and all that kind of stuff.
I love old
But in,
white men policing other people's bodies in which they should have no rights over. I think that
yeah,
that's insane. I think that's
women,
frankly crazy. And
women.
it's all because
I
we're
mean,
rooted in a
because
puritanical nation. I mean, that's why.
healthcare, they pay for dick pills, right?
Yep. Gender
You're like,
affirming care is what that's called. Yeah.
yeah, no,
No, can't be called that.
can't call it that.
Nope, can't call it that.
Makes your wee wee hard, you
Yeah.
know.
And they're really advertising those to young men now, which is scary.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
time on the Facebook, I see Blue Chew.
Well, do
for
you?
which is
Yeah, I
insane.
see
You're
those too.
advertising to like 17, 18-year-olds, my people my age too. And I'm like, man, are there 26-year-olds out there that
There are.
get it up? And it's like if they
Uh-uh.
are, then that's a societal problem. That's not their problem. That's
I think
crazy.
no. There's when you're that age and you're not comfortable around women, you be nervous and you're worried you're going to get old, you know, softy wiener.
It is a mental thing. I will say that all
It's more a
for a
mental
lot of
thing.
people.
Yeah. So you wanna cheat and be ready. And I understand that, because it's a really big pride issue if you're going to have sex with someone and then, you know, the woman doesn't really have to do anything. There's no part of her body that has to change in order to function to have sex other than to be lubricated, whereas the men, we need a stick. And if we don't have a stick, well, we ain't having any, it's not going to happen.
That's
You can,
fair.
you,
But at
you
the
know,
same
that's,
time, too, I think it's a pornography issue. I think that
you
that's a
think?
huge problem in the US. Not in the
Yeah,
US, in the world. I
in the
mean,
world.
maybe specifically the US, but like, I don't know. I think that that is really damaged a lot of young men in this country. A
Hmm.
lot. Because it's one, it's unrealistic expectations from the time that you're first introduced to it, which for me,
Yeah.
I was way too young. That's crazy to think about it
Well, you
that
were
way.
like second, third grade.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the advent of the internet. And when people realized, oh, wow, the internet is absolutely an all encompassing being, which is, oh, in my opinion, we created God. I mean, is that
Yeah.
not what we did? Is
Yeah.
that not what we did?
Every album,
Scary.
every story, every written thing is there, and every sex act. I remember second to third grade or was it third to fourth grade? That's when you guys learned about
Third or
RedTube.
fourth. Oh, RedTube. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And the fourth
Classic.
graders told you, and they're like, RedTube, RedTube. And
Yeah. Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and I remember one of the teachers saying, Zachary's the one that told everybody. And it's like,
Was not me.
well,
Was not me.
people blame, you were a trouble person.
Well, I remember
You,
some
you
kid
were,
got beat up on the bus, and they were like, they were blaming me for it, and I
right. You
was
were an
like,
outsider.
I was in the front of the bus, and it happened in the
You were an
back of the bus.
outsider.
And
Right.
I was thinking about this the other day too. I had to go to her retirement party, and I was so mad about that. I'm still kind of upset about
Who is
that.
that?
Mrs.
Manawato.
Manawaddle, yeah. Yeah, mom
Yeah.
was like,
No,
come
I
with
didn't.
me. And I'm like, how? Really? Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna make me go to this woman's retirement party and
Wow.
tormented me for 6 years?
I didn't realize that she made you sign the confession.
She
That was the
was the
weird.
worst
Yeah.
one. And I hope that
Yeah.
she's in a terrible place now. I really do. Because
Hmm.
if it's me, if I experience that by myself, imagine how many other kids experience that
Yeah.
by her. By her,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
A lot. A lot, I imagine.
Yep. Yeah.
It,
Sadly.
you get older and then you realize how lazy adults are, truly. You
Yeah,
know?
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should
You
have done something.
really. Well, no, not that you are lazy, that
Mhm.
in order to satisfy or satiate other parents' opinions or things like that, they were so quick to just make something up and just
Right.
say blame it and scapegoat it. Because
Right.
scapegoating is so much faster than actually caring about the situation. You
Right.
know, it really
As
is.
long as we can find someone to blame,
Yes.
is we can point the finger at someone else. I mean, that was the one thing that here I go back to the whole company analogy with everything is like we would always focus on uh what can we do to fix it. When we fix it, then we can figure out who to blame. But right now, we need to fix it. And usually, by the time we fixed it, we forgot about blaming anybody and no one gave a shit. So
Mm,
it was a really good place and a way to work was when something went wrong or went sideways, you wouldn't like spend all this time arguing over whose fault it was. You would spend all this time fixing the issue. And then by the time you moved on, by the time it was fixed, you didn't really care. It's very, you would just fix it and how can we make this not happen again? That was it.
yeah. Well, that's like Tylenol when somebody died of a drug overdose because the Tylenol was poison and they pulled every single bottle from the United
One of the
States
one of the
off the
greatest
walls. Yeah.
business. You will see a business use case. I read this. It was a case
Business
study,
101 is where I saw
and
that. Yeah.
they do it. The Tylenol did it, and what's the one? What's the Perrier did not.
Oh, I didn't realize Perrier did
Yeah,
not.
Perrier was the other side of that. Perrier had benzene. They found benzene in the water, and they didn't tell. They didn't report it. They just kind of hid it, and they found it. And like 6 months later, it came out that it was benzene in it,
Hmm.
and it was such a small trace, but it was enough that it could somewhat affect you. They instead of pulling the soda, I mean sparkling water, they discounted it.
That's crazy.
Well,
That's so
in
crazy.
in
Oh my
in
gosh.
3 or 4 months, nobody would touch Perrier. It went from the only soda water that people would drink, only, it was the rich people drink was Perrier. That was it. To nothing.
It still kind of
They
is.
had
I would say
hundreds of
that
millions of
it's
revenue just up in smoke, just like that. But Tylenol, they spent like $50 million pulling it all off the shelf and throwing it all out and building a new capsule that was plastic along with the connects. I mean, everybody was like, whoa. And
the
so
plastic
Tylenol,
seal, yeah, was
yeah,
then
they continue.
invented, yeah.
That's where it came.
Hmm.
It came from you had to open it, and you had to, and the top was sealed because it used to be when you open up a bottle of aspirin, there was just a cotton ball stuck in there,
Mm.
and you could get right at the pills. Can't do that anymore. Can't do that with a lot of
I
things.
miss being able to take pills in the grocery store, and just leave the bottle on the shelf.
Right. I miss
I miss doing that.
I miss going to the food bar and taking a bite of something and putting it back. That's what I miss.
Man, that is just foul. Oh my gosh. Did you notice how? Wait, that is actually an interesting point. Salad bars don't exist anymore, right? Because of COVID.
No, no, they still
They
exist.
still. You still
Yeah,
wait?
they
Is one
do.
in
They do.
Giant
They
still?
do all over New York. They have
Oh,
food
real
bars.
in New York?
Food bar. Yeah, my God,
That's
yes.
crazy.
Yeah, they're all
Oh
and they're,
wait, Whole Foods definitely has it. What am I talking about? I don't know
yeah,
what I'm
Whole
talking about.
Foods, Wegmans, all of them. And
They all
I go
do. I don't know what
through,
I'm thinking about. Yeah,
and I usually I go to bathroom, don't wash my hands, and then I go and I just pick some food out of the bowls. And
handfuls,
I
right? Yeah,
yeah, well, I don't
and put it in your
I
pocket.
let I lick it and I drop it back in. That's what I do.
I remember when that guy did that. Oh my gosh,
Oh
man,
my God.
that was crazy.
Never. And the retort that he gave me,
It
that's
was
when I
insane,
died.
but everybody does it. But
But
everybody,
everybody does it. And I was just like,
ah, ugh,
oh my gosh, that's the end
because
of the world for me. I can never go to because I was really hooked on the whole salad bar theme.
you
It
were
was
an
just like,
avid
wow.
salad bar guy.
Yeah, he just
And
destroyed
this-
it for me. It's
oh
like,
my God.
wow.
Well,
I
that
can
what I
never.
immediately thought what is even worse than that is the soup. Because I
Yeah.
immediately thought about the soup after that and the spoon that you dip in.
Oh my
How
God.
many
I
people do
hate
you
you.
think lick the soup? How many
I
people do you think
I
lick the
God,
soup
I hate.
spoon? Like, ah.
Okay, you just now you've ruined another
Ever
portion of
since
the
that,
world for
it
me.
not only ruined it for you, I have never eaten at a hot bar ever again. And you know
No,
what?
I
I'd
haven't. I
rather
won't.
the guy behind the counter, I don't know, not wash his hands and finger my chicken or whatever, than somebody in the general public do it. I don't know why that's better, but it just
Why
is.
is it? Because the general public, they're all pigs, but they're all seeking the American dream.
They all are. And that's
And
what this is
the
all
guy
about.
behind the counter is probably imported and he's trying to get citizenship. So that's the difference,
But
right?
he's also seeking the American dream, and that's the most important
Yeah.
part.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what it used to drive people here. It's funny.
I
Are we
would be
going to?
curious how, yeah, quote unquote, high immigration is these days because I don't
Hmm,
believe that it's as high as it used to be.
no, I
No,
think a
I
lot of
can't
people are
imagine it
frightened of
is.
this country
No,
and the
I
people
mean,
in
we're
it.
literally going to be Greece if we refinance our debt. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, you're looking at
Yeah,
people that are. It's a sad thing.
it
You
sure
know
is.
that it's what it is. I think it's let's not think about the future. Let's
Let's
think
think
about
for
today.
today.
Let's think
Ah,
for today.
Jinx.
What can we get
You owe
for
me a
today?
soda. You owe me a salad bar salad.
What can
Jinx.
we get for today?
And
Not
not a salad bar
tomorrow.
salad. We're not getting one today. Gosh, maybe not
Yeah,
tomorrow either. Jeez. Well, I think that's
yeah,
pretty much our episode for this week. We're about at an hour here.
yeah. You're right. You
Yeah.
are.
I actually got
That's
the
it.
time right for once, which is cool. I
Wow.
looked at my clock here and we started at 59, and it's 658 right
I
now.
think I
Wow.
need to lick the top of a ketchup bottle.
Oh, I remember that one too. I was going to mention that one
I
when
can
Meme
never,
said
I can
that.
never do that.
Oh my gosh, she said the
She was in a
guy did.
Cracker Barrel and she sees a guy put ketchup on his hash browns in the morning, and then he licks the top of the ketchup bottle. And
I've
I'm
never
just like,
used the ketchup after
never
that.
used it again after that. I'm like, no,
Nope.
I need packets. Why do you need packets, sir? It's like, sorry,
Can you lick the
no.
bottle in the back and just pour it into a cup or something
That's
for me, please?
okay. I'm fine with
As
that.
long as I don't see it. As long
Yeah,
as I don't
that's
see
that's
it.
it. That's it exactly. No
Oh
licking the
gosh.
ketchup bottle. Pop.
Well, as
Yep.
always, check out our socials. They're growing. We went from 60 followers on Instagram to 88. I'm
Oh my
happy
God.
about that. Yeah. And we got
You
another
no, we're
500
between.
streams out there. So thank you guys for listening. Really, it seems
Yeah,
like we're getting some new listeners. And I know we're obnoxious, but join us on this obnoxious journey.
yeah.
And check out the new episodes and follow what Instagram. We have a TikTok now.
We
TikTok,
do.
Facebook. Go like the
I've
Facebook
been sharing
page.
it. I've been sharing that quite a
Have you
bit.
been doing the LinkedIn at all?
Yeah.
They don't control the LinkedIn, just you.
No, I
And
do
then
LinkedIn for both ones. I've
cool.
been posting it on both sites, mine and
Fantastic.
theirs, and sharing. Yeah.
Well, this one's
I
going
also do
out
Facebook.
this Friday
Yeah.
after what is today? 4/26/2026 going out this week, this upcoming
Oh
week.
wow.
See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bah.